have been doing this summer is absolutely nothing. Well, something, but nothing. So I bought a tent because I had some issues last year with the staying in my truck camper in the Midwest during deer season and turkey season. I got so much dust in that camper. It's just like a fine dust, and I guess that camper just creates like a vacuum through the little cracks and seals. I tried to seal everything with rubber gaskets and everything, but in the Midwest there's so many dirt roads, and it was so dry and the dust was so fine. And I even had trouble with this the year before last. It just gets in the camper and coats everything, and when you're staying in your truck camper for a couple of weeks at a time, it's kind of aggravating just dealing with a coat of dust on everything. So I bought a tent, and it's a Kodiak Canvas tent. It's a nice tent, so I'm probably going to use that when I'm staying somewhere for a length of time. Just it gives me more wingspan and more room. I can get up and change my clothes. You know, I can stand all the way up in this tent and everything. It's a really nice tent. So I'm going to use that probably in some cases, but I actually sold the Chevrolet with the camper on it because it was getting on up in miles, and I'm looking right now for another truck. Not sure what I'm going to buy, but I intend on putting a camper on it also, so I'll kind of have the best of both worlds. Whereas if I'm just staying a night or two, I could stay in my camper possibly, or if it's bad weather, you know, and I don't want to stay in the tent, I can jump in my truck, and plus everything's locked up. If you got a camper on your truck and you're traveling, hunting, it's just a big plus. I mean, you got all your stuff, you can lock it up, it's safe. If you have bad weather, you need to sleep, you can jump in there. There's just so many advantages to it. I got a new saddle. For those of you that's been watching me, you notice I've hunted out of a tethered Manus for a while, which was their first saddle. So I kind of upgraded to a Latitude Method 2, which is a 2-panel saddle, which is more comfortable, it's more streamlined, it's just a better saddle all the way around. I think I'm really going to like it. So I'll be using that this year. And my plans for this year, I'm still kind of in the process of making them. I haven't really made up my mind, but I do know for a fact I got drawn for Kansas again, so I'm pretty fired up about that. So I know I'm going to Kansas. Depending on how long I stay in Kansas, if I can tag out pretty quick, I may drop down to Oklahoma or over to Missouri or up to Nebraska, or who knows, I don't really know. I am going to my small lease that I have in Mississippi, in South Mississippi, shortly to put out some cameras and some mineral licks. Mississippi has a early velvet buck season this year. If I can get a decent buck on camera there, I may try to hunt him. If not, I may try to find one on public land. And if all that fails, then I may just pack up the truck and head north. Who knows? It's all up in the air right now. We're going to see. But I know we're going to several states to hunt. Probably going to hit Arkansas again this year after the Midwest rut. I usually like to hit the rut in the Midwest in the beginning of November to mid-November, just kind of depending on where I'm going, and drop down and hit the southern states for, you know, some of the rut. It just depends on where I'm going. You can hit a little bit of a late rut in North Arkansas and then drop back down to Mississippi and just catch the fire of the rut in January. So just going to jump around, follow the rut, hit a few states, and hopefully have a great year. I've been starting to practice shooting my bow and just get some stuff together, get my saddle and my gear kind of fine-tuned how I want to get it. All I got to do is get a truck, get it set up, and hopefully find a buck for this early season velvet hunt. So we will see what happens. In the meantime, I'm cooking some backstrap. That freezer's getting low, and that's not a good thing.